We are live. Hello, Noob Reaction fans. Welcome to Hostel Discourse episode 25. Jacob, what were you gonna ask?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so the agenda, we're gonna talk about The Force Awakens, what we thought of it 2 years ago versus what we think of it now. We can talk about some details of the movie. I just watched it the other night, so I have a bunch of notes written down. And then we'll each read our Last Jedi plots, including Kanan's, which he sent me. And then then Mike's gonna pick his favorite for like the winner, I guess. And
Because I
then
did not have time to write one.
Yeah, and then we can talk more about Last Jedi, what we want to see in it, and also talk a little bit about the Star Wars spin-off movies like Rogue One and Han Solo and how those kind of compare to the normal saga movies. Okay. And I think I want to aim for like an hour of recording on this one, a little bit shorter than usual, or maybe 45 minutes, however we're feeling it. So don't feel like
That's cool.
yeah, less. I can get it out quicker the shorter it is, I guess.
I'm feeling short-winded tonight.
Jacob, look at my awesome shirt.
Sick. That's awesome. Did you just get that?
No, my brother gave it to me last year for Christmas.
That's dope. Oh man, the stockings. Those are the best part.
I didn't even notice. What is it?
It says Han, Luke, and Leia.
Oh, okay.
I'm hearing echo.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Unplugging my AirPod for a sec.
You're good. How's it going, Mike?
Fine. How are you?
Doing
I just
well.
finished a long day of work in Texas, but I'm here
Oh, nice.
in my Holiday Inn Express.
Lovely.
What dedication to the show.
Yeah, you know. Well, David was going to do it Sunday night, but I had a flight out at 5 a.m. So I was like, that's not happening.
Oh. Have y'all peeped the Rotten Tomatoes so far?
No.
Yeah.
Not that I won't say anything, but I also am always skeptical of the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Before the release and even like 2 weeks after.
What's important is you gotta look.
Did you hear that, Jared?
No one cares about that score, Jared.
Okay, it's definitely not what I said.
All right. Everyone start your recordings. Mine is rolling. Test.
I'm rolling.
Test.
Are you picking up microphone?
Hostel Discourse.
Seems pretty quiet. All right, I think it's okay.
Check.
Jared, are you using GarageBand again?
Check. Test.
Does it look too quiet or is it fine?
It looks like it's I don't know. It looks all right. You want me to screen share real quick?
Sure. You sure it's using the mic and not the laptop mic?
I think so, but
yeah, just hit screen share so we can see. Okay.
Should be good. Okay, I'm talking. It's making spikes. It's making things. Audio level meets that little button, green button.
I don't remember what it looked like last time. Maybe turn the gain up a little bit on that little knob where the meter is, that little round button. Slide it over to the right a tiny bit.
Oh, this doesn't have one. This has
No, in GarageBand.
Oh, in GarageBand. This guy?
Yeah.
That way?
Yeah, that's probably good.
Okay,
right,
now we're talking. Now we're really loud.
I think
Now
that
we're really
fine.
loud. Good?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
All right, everybody recording, we can clap now. The best part of the evening. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Get synced, son. All right. I will get started. Avoid coughs or sneezes from me and Mike. We both have colds. Okay.
I think we're far enough away we won't catch your cold.
Yeah.
And Joe's a doctor, so he does know.
I do.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Hostel Discourse, episode 25. It is Star Wars The Last Jedi week, and we are excited to talk about The Last Jedi, as well as taking a look back at The Force Awakens, which came out 2 years ago. So, so what? So what, gentlemen?
So here to talk about it.
Yeah. No. Okay. So take a look at the show notes if you want to skip around. We always include all the different segments in there. But before we get started, let me introduce you to tonight's crew, starting with my oldest brother, Mike Rohlfing, coming from Austin, Texas tonight for a business trip.
Indeed. From the is it the Lone Star State? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Something like that.
The Texan would know. And that brings me to not guest. One of the co-hosts for tonight, Jacob Hunter from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Hello, loyal listeners.
And co-host number 2, also, not from Tulsa tonight, but from Fayetteville, Arkansas, Jared Cozart.
Woo pig, hey gang.
And last but not least, Joe Kuiper from Oklahoma City.
Hello, friends.
Okay, so let's start off with talking about The Force Awakens. I just watched it a couple nights ago to kind of get some fresh thoughts on it. But what were some of your reactions 2 years ago compared to what you think of it now? Has it gone down in your mind as far as how good of a movie it is, or has it ripened over the years?
Who's starting?
I'll start. For me, it hasn't changed since about the third time I saw it in theaters, but it changed a lot from the first to the third time I saw it. When I came out the first time, I didn't like it very much. The plot just was the same, and I didn't like Finn. I didn't think it was very funny. And then the second and third time I watched it, I learned to appreciate his funny candor. Candor? Is that the right word? Banter. Banter. Yeah, definitely
CANDOR, quality of being open and honest in expression.
Yeah. I knew that wasn't right. Candor, maybe he is that too, but no, his banter, the funny stuff he brought to the movie. I didn't like it at first. I liked it later. But that's how I feel. I think overall, after the third time seeing it, I was quite pleased.
I would say I'm the complete opposite. I think I just because it was new Star Wars, I really wanted to like it, and so I did the first time I saw it. I actually saw it twice on opening night. That's how crazy excited I was. I saw it at 7 and then I saw it at 10:30.
Wow.
And and then I saw it 4 days later with my in-laws in Michigan, and then I saw it a fourth time on the OmniMax Dome screen in St. Louis. And anyway, I think like I said, just because I thought I should like it, I liked it. But the more, and I was also kind of blind to how darn similar it is to A New Hope, that now, like, the more I watch it, the less I like it. Because there are just so many things in it now that just irk me, like, the more I watch it.
Yeah, that is funny. We are just exactly opposites because I think I just want to like it so bad that as I kept watching it, I think I just made myself like it more. But there's lots of reasons not to like it very much. That's for sure.
Mike, what are some examples of things that really irk you now when you watch the movie?
I'm the opposite of Jared too, in that I think all the humor from Finn is stupid. Just like the fact that the movie's about hiding plans to something in a droid, like it's the same thing. It's the same movie as A New Hope.
Yeah.
And just like every time I watch it, I notice like more things are like, really? You really copied that same thing? And then I notice something else another time. And then there's just like that scene around the table when they're planning the plot to destroy the Death Star number 3, and they're like, there's always a way to blow it up. It's just like, it's so lazy.
Yeah.
There's just so many things about it to me that are just so kind of, I don't know, that I didn't notice the first time, like I said, but like the more I actually think about it, the more it's just like, I don't know, it's just kind of pointless.
Yeah. I'm in the decreasing returns boat in that I've seen the movie twice, liked it more the first time, and what stuck out to me more the second time, and this is really abnormal for me, like I picked up on what I think is a pretty gaping plot hole in that, and I really could not take it through the whole second viewing, which might be not being a good spectator, but Finn seems really not surprised at all that Starkiller Base is about to blow up 5 planets, but he neglected to mention the fact that Starkiller Base existed to anyone that he had been hanging out with for the past half hour of the movie.
What if Finn's the real bad guy?
I've not ruled that out, but yeah, that kind of bothers me still, but yeah, there's nothing that can be said that hasn't been said already, but I guess it still is worth emphasizing. Yep, it is A New Hope all over again, and that's definitely worth criticizing.
Yeah, and I will say that any Star Wars is better than no Star Wars for me. So like, I mean, as a whole, like it's fun to watch. Like
True.
I still like to watch Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
occasionally.
I think,
and I think it's better than Attack of the Clones, but still, it's got things that just bother me.
I'm also along with both Mike and Jacob in the fact that it's gotten less and less positive for me. The first time I watched it, I thought it was great, and then yeah, same thing. It's basically A New Hope all over again, which was disappointing. And I think maybe that's why coming into this like new movie, I haven't felt quite as amped as I did when 7 came out, or even probably when Rogue One came out. And like, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it, or just the fact that I'm busy with school and stuff. But like, I just haven't felt as into it for some reason. But hopefully I will be on Friday night. Yeah,
and we'll probably get into this a little later, but I honestly enjoyed Rogue One more than Episode 7 and still do. And I think that may have had a lot to do with I read and watched like everything about Episode 7. I just couldn't resist like reading up and, diving in beforehand to Episode 7 because I was so reading the magazine articles, watching all the trailers like a dozen times, all these things. And then after that, like there were so many things that because I knew that footage so well,
right?
From the trailers, like I knew Poe didn't die on Jakku because I saw him flying in an X-wing, over water in the trailer, and that didn't happen yet. So with Rogue One, I was like, I'm going to watch every trailer once, and that's it. And the same with Episode 8. So I hope that like the fact that I haven't hyped this one up to myself near as much, like that maybe it'll surprise me.
There's also
even the Rogue One trailers, most of it didn't end up in the movie, so
true, that
what you saw in the movie was a big surprise.
And I would say something we said about like Rogue One, you kind of knew what was going to happen. They're going to steal the Death Star plans. Like you knew the plot, And with Star Wars Episode 7, you didn't know the plot, but at the end of it, you were like, I literally just rewatched, New Hope. And I feel like that took away from it. Like, they could have made something completely new and they didn't. Whereas Rogue One actually did end up being something new when you knew it was going to happen, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I do want to go back and mention that I did fall in love with Kylo Ren in the first viewing, and that held through the second. And so he is my main investment for the Star Wars franchise at this point. So that as much of a trope as he is, and like the all black masked character, I think I'm still excited for a potential redemption arc, and maybe one that is a bit more has a bit more payoff than the Darth Vader one, because I think that one kind of hit me out of nowhere first time I saw that. I saw
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi. Obviously not the biggest Star Wars fan here, but yeah, that is the good thing that I look forward to.
Yeah, and I will say one thing. I like Kylo Ren as well. Maybe this is just me. I don't even know what it is. I didn't like the whole he's Han's son thing. I don't know why. I guess I was just like expecting this just brand new bad guy that was just like this brand new character with new lineage and new whatever, and then all of a sudden they're like your father or whatever, and Darth Vader's grandson. I don't know. I just thought that was just like, you really couldn't like come up with something different. The bad guy's got to be Darth Vader's grandson.
Well, do you hold that same standard to Snoke? Like, do you like Snoke's mystery and maybe seeming to be new?
Unless he turns out to be like Mace Windu or something.
Right.
That would be sick.
It would.
Okay. So I just watched The Force Awakens less than 48 hours ago. I kind of share the same sentiment as I loved it originally. It's definitely I've noticed more flaws in it over the last 2 years. I probably watched it 5 or 6 times now. But the things that I liked about it originally, I still love about it. I love Rey, Kylo Ren, and Snoke. And I know I'm going to love the stuff with Luke and the new one. All the stuff about the Jedi. I love the fact that there's 2 competing people between Rey and Kylo, and I love to see where that's going to take them. The stuff that I hated about The Force Awakens mostly revolved around Finn in the first half of the movie. I felt the second half of the movie was really strong, and I think a lot of that was because Finn wasn't in it. The first half of the movie, Finn, I know they shot the scenes on Jakku first in order when they were shooting. You can tell the acting between Finn and Rey is just kind of poor when they first meet. And I know that they're great actors, but I just feel like it was not solid compared to the rest of the movie. I didn't really like the Han and Chewie freighter chase. I liked Han in the movie. I liked him more later. But I didn't find any of Finn's humor really funny. I found most of it out of place. I even found Poe's one-liner at the beginning of the movie to be kind of out of place, and I just didn't feel like the humor in the movie really worked. Besides the humor with Han, like that's not how the Force works. And Maz Kanata says like, "Where's my boyfriend?" I love that Wookiee, and like that was funny. And there's humor from other characters, but most of the comedic stuff was put on Finn's character, and I just feel like he didn't pull it off very well. And he was such a big part of the first half of that movie that the first half was just kind of weak for me. I loved the second half, kind of when they get to Maz's planet and onwards. I liked the movie, but the first half is kind of bland for me and didn't really work.
You got a boyfriend? Cute boyfriend?
Yeah. So dumb.
Maybe he wants the boyfriend and not her.
He might want Poe. You never know.
Yeah.
Disney could take it a new direction.
I definitely saw that on making the rounds on Twitter on opening night, and it affected my second viewing to a large degree. Could not get that. I could not get that out of my head.
The Last Jedi plot that I wrote.
Oh god.
David, I will argue with you about the intro to Han Solo in Force Awakens. That's probably my favorite sequence in the movie, when they land on his freighter and he gets surrounded by the two gangs who are both out to get him. I just thought like that was actually something different, and like it really shows that Han Solo is still just like this rogue smuggler. And I love like the banter between the Asian guys and the Irish guys, and then those giant and the giant monsters that come out. I actually thought that was actually like something sort of different, which is why I still really like that scene.
Yeah, it grew on me a little bit. I can understand why you like it, and I know there's going to be a lot of, like kind of situations Han gets in like that in the Han Solo spinoff movie. It felt a little out of place to me, but it is definitely a little bit different. It feels different from the rest of the movie, and that's why I wasn't too sure about it. But it grew on me a little bit on the fifth and sixth viewings.
I just love that. Tell that to Conja Club. Those guys walk in.
A couple things I kind of wanted to mention that kind of tie into The Last Jedi. So Captain Phasma, obviously the biggest waste of marketing, kind of like the worst character in The Force Awakens, but they're still marketing her for The Last Jedi just as much as they were last time. And I think half of the reason why I hate Phasma so much is because she's supposed to be like Finn's rival, and they throw her in the trash compactor, and when Finn meets her when they're about to blow up Starkiller Base, Finn's like, "Who's in charge now? Who's in charge now, Phasma?"
Yes.
And it's just like, it's so like weightless. It's just like this feud where you haven't seen any background of why he hates her so much, and besides just guessing when he's a stormtrooper she was abusive or something. But her character is so weak. They market her so much, and I'm just really scared they're going to do the same thing for The Force Awakens and try to make her something bigger than what she isn't. The reason that she is being pushed so much is because they want to have a new Boba Fett character. Boba Fett was so cool in the original trilogy because he was mysterious, because you didn't see his face, and he was a cool bounty hunter. And they're trying to do the same thing with Phasma, like with their cool armor, silver armor design, but I just feel like her, whatever performance she's putting on with her voice, it doesn't matter that she's a girl. It's just like something about her doesn't work for me. And yeah, I'm just worried that they're going to push her and Finn even more in the second movie because she survived the trash compactor. I'm just kind of worried about it.
Could get better though.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, I mean if I could have completed your sentence before you finished that first one, David, I would have said huge waste of marketing. That impression rings so clear, and it makes me wonder about like what a first draft of that script might have looked like, and what gets moved around. But I also never really understood the appeal of Boba Fett. I did not think he was something that was really worth taking away. And I guess the first time I like consciously watched the Star Wars movies was in my senior year of undergrad. So no more than a year and a half ago, and watched them all pretty quick and was attentive during it. And I don't understand the Boba Fett thing.
The Boba Fett fandom is definitely a product of the 40 years, of Star Wars fandom. He was turned into this cult character. So, I mean, I'm sure when Return of the Jedi came out and Boba Fett was a big part of the first half of that movie, like people weren't talking about Boba Fett, but for over the last 40 years, people came up, since he's mysterious, people talked about him, and they came up with all the background on Mandalore and that planet and the Clone Wars. And there's all this background on the Mandalorian people, which all wear the similar armor, and Jango Fett in the prequel. So there's been a lot built up about him. So that's kind of where it came from. It wasn't immediate.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Well, and to your point, if Phasma was just like this character with not a famous actress inside, or like if she wasn't part of that huge marketing push and she was just sort of this random Boba Fett-esque character, or even the exact same as she is in the movie now, just not as like, I don't know, it's where the marketing can actually hurt it, like you're saying. Like if she was just this mysterious character that just showed up with, and she wasn't in the trailers, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. She looks different, and yeah, she has a couple lines and whatever. Like maybe, are you saying like that might have been better?
Yeah. Instead, she gets put on like the front page of the Entertainment Weekly first issue that they did about the Star Wars, showed the character designs and everything. Like she was front and center. So yeah, it is exactly like that. And that happens for all these, like, well, a lot of these, I feel like big reboot films and Marvel movies too. It's this weird side villain that a lot of effort goes into the design, and it will catch your eye, but carries zero weight in the actual movie and seems like a waste of your time by the end of it.
Another thing I wanted to bring up. So when Rey touches the lightsaber in Maz Kanata's little dungeon area, and she has all those flashbacks, and she has a flash forward to Kylo in the woods kind of confronting her. And people have always assumed that when Kylo is standing there with the Knights of Ren, that it was a flashback to when he was like destroying Luke's Jedi Academy or whatever. My thought when I watched through the other night was, what if that's a flash forward to Kylo with the Knights of Ren in The Last Jedi or Episode 9? I don't know. I thought that could be kind of cool. Because Kylo, he seemed like he was full grown, you know? It wasn't like years back when Rey was a kid. That would mean Kylo was that age too. So I feel like it kind of has to be a flash forward. What do you guys think?
Yeah, there's definitely some speculation about that. I was actually just talking about that at dinner with my coworkers who are all Star Wars fanatics. Yeah, and there's also in the other movies you don't see really anything like that, but what you do get is Luke seeing into the future in Empire. You see him, you know, he sees Han and Leia being tortured or whatever. And that's like the one instance in Star Wars of some sort of flash forward. So that could definitely be the case. It could be keep in mind, you do see like young Rey, presumably in that vision as well. So it would have to be a flashback and a flash forward, because you see like this kid going, no, when the ship flies away. So if you can have a combo in the Star Wars world, that could very well be what it is.
Didn't Anakin also have some visions about like Padme dying and stuff?
Yes, and they were all future visions. Yeah.
So maybe it's a Skywalker thing, and she's probably a Skywalker, unfortunately. So
she is doomed to lose one appendage, at least. Which one? I'd like to start a betting pool on that.
Will it be her right arm or her left arm?
Yeah, she loses a leg, and then like you just hear Jared on the side of the theater just like going crazy. He's like so stoked that.
Oh man, I'll wager. I heard a funny joke about gambling the other day, but I don't think this is the place to tell it.
Okay, so I had everyone here, besides Mike, he's going to be the judge of sorts, write their own plot for The Last Jedi. And we actually have a special one, not from anybody here right now, but Kanan Smith, the biggest Star Wars fan we know, cannot be here tonight. But get this. His reason for not being on this podcast tonight was because he had to watch Star Wars.
That's so stupid.
Oh my gosh.
Because he said he's watching, every Star Wars movie one a night up until the premiere. So he couldn't be here tonight because he's currently watching, what would he be on right now? Episode
Jedi
5 or Return of the Jedi. Yeah. But he sent in his plot, so he's going to read it to you right now. But actually, I'm going to read it. Let's see. Gotta open up iMessage. We have a couple people in the chat. One said, "Marry me." Assume they're talking about me. I said, "I'm taken." Sorry. And another guy said, Bosk is my favorite bounty hunter, or Cad Bane.
This means
Those are
What
nothing.
about IG-88
That is a good one as well.
or Zam Wessel?
Man,
Okay, Kanan's plot. The Last Jedi will start off with Luke training Rey. Eventually, they will be called to assist in a battle between the Resistance and the First Order. The First Order will crush the Resistance in this battle, and Rey will willingly go with Kylo away from Luke and the rest of the Resistance. Kylo tells Rey that they can overthrow Snoke together and offers to train her. Rey refuses, so Kylo takes her as a prisoner. Before reaching Snoke, Luke intercepts them. Luke and Kylo fight for a little until it is clear that Kylo would be victorious. At this point, Kylo offers to free Rey and have Luke take her place. Luke accepts against Rey's wishes. Kylo and Luke drop Rey off and disappear into space. End of movie.
Very short plot.
He said, obviously, this really only covers the Rey, Kylo, Luke storyline. Somewhere in the movie, Finn and Poe get together.
Like romantically or like buddy copley?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Buddy Copley.
Buddy copley. It's a word.
And take into account that he hasn't watched a single trailer, and I think a couple of you are in that camp as well. Joe, have you not seen a trailer?
I have not. I've seen like a few snippets before I could avert my eyes, but that's about it.
Jared, no trailers, right?
I saw the first trailer.
Okay. Jacob
First trailer once.
and Mike, I know you've seen all of them once.
I
Like
pretty much
have.
watch everything once, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch that new
Okay.
behind-the-scenes video about the locations?
No, I've been avoiding everything in the past couple days.
There have been some couple like Twitter videos and stuff that went a little far. I'm done. Done till Thursday night at 7.
You cannot trust Twitter. Twitter is the absolute worst.
Well, no, but it's like official Star Wars stuff. They're posting like the 4 days left, these little videos that are like terrible aspect ratio, and they keep adding like everyone will add like a new shot, and a couple of them went a little too far for my taste.
Okay, Jared, how about you read your plot next?
Oh man, I would be honored. All right, here we go. It starts with Luke and Rey on their little island, and Rey's having, Luke's got to get deep into her mind and all this stuff, and it turns out Luke tells Rey that Kylo killed her parents.
What?
So that's the first thing that's going on. As we know, the First Order has just suffered a big defeat. Their big planet weapon got blown up. So they are currently rebuilding the exact same weapon
jeez.
on a different planet.
No.
Meanwhile, the First Order has also kidnapped Finn and Poe. Rey, still on the island, senses that they're in trouble. So she leaves Luke to rescue them against Luke's warnings that she isn't ready to face Kylo Ren. Well, she goes anyway, and she's fueled by rage, given the knowledge of Kylo's murders. She confronts him, says, Kylo, I know that you killed my father. And Kylo says, and I think this is the moneymaker. No, Rey.
I am your father.
I am your father. That's exactly right.
Damn it,
You are
Jared.
a genius.
I thought, Jared,
where's the
I
snow
thought for
planet?
about 10 minutes about pulling that same stunt,
Oh, man. Well,
which
I'm
would
not
have made my plot even more accurate to Star Wars in that it would be a direct copy of something that had just been done.
that's true. That's true.
You have my vote as long as this story ends with Jar Jar Binks being Snoke. That's all I want.
No, this story ends with Rey shocked, gets away, and Finn gets frozen in carbonite.
Which appendage? Which appendage?
Oh, it's got to be the left hand.
Boring.
Does he get taken away to a space slug?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, next, let's go with Joe.
Okay. Credits roll. Summarizing the credits, basically they're saying that despite the victory over the First Order is now in power because the Republic home bases all got destroyed in that whatever explosion came from it. So the Republic's in trouble, but Republican ship cruising through space. On board, a comatose Finn, a CGI Leia, and a regular Poe. And Leia and Poe discuss how, despite the destruction of Death Star number 3, the First Order, of course, is still in charge. And suddenly a First Order ship appears, starts fighting. Finn gets woken up from the fire, and Poe and Finn get on a ship and try to escape. But CGI Leia, of course, does not make it. And she decides she'll stay behind to give him a chance to leave. You have to kill off Leia. That's got to happen.
Carrie Fisher is still alive in this movie.
Was she for the whole thing?
Yeah.
Dang. Well, I thought that she had passed slightly before filming. So either way, this is how it's going to go. So Snoke and Kylo are on board the ship, and Kylo sees his mother, but Snoke says that they have to kill her. And now, basically, Kylo is in even more doubt than he was before because he now has no parents, and Snoke's ruthless murder of his mother is kind of messed up. Finn and Poe go on a big buddy cop storyline as they're chased, but eventually they get caught. Meanwhile, in Ireland, Rocky montage, Luke and Rey doing their thing, teaching each other, or Luke teaching Rey. And then C-3PO, R2, and Chewie show up with an old friend, Lando. And they basically say, hey, Finn and Poe got captured, and they're holding him as bait because they want Rey to come and Luke to come also. So the team goes to Mustafar and infiltrate. Huge fight breaks out. Luke ends up getting killed by Kylo, but not before revealing to Rey that she is his daughter. Kylo sees the fatherly love, and remembers his own parents, and now he's even more doubtful about this whole dark side thing. And all that will come to fruition in Episode 9. Everybody gets away, but not before seeing a source of dark side power on Mustafar, which has corrupted everybody, and that's what's going to be the plot of Episode 9. Super vague stuff, super short plot.
Super
vague.
Super vague.
For our listeners, Joe is saying the word vague.
Yeah.
Yep, he's from Iowa.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, Jacob, you're next.
Okay, I don't have quite how they all are going to converge at the end, but we start with Kylo and Snoke, and they are on a quest for it's either going to be a rock or a fountain or some natural fixture that is going to augment their force abilities to the extent that Starkiller Base would be unnecessary. They'll be able to kill entire planets with the Force. And as they're getting closer, huge disturbances in the Force are detected, and one of them comes to Finn in a dream and gives him warning of what they are doing and wakes him up. He has amnesia, but he has this vision of what they call the First Order, finding this thing, and he feels compelled to find it, and that's what his party is doing. Leia and Poe and them, they're trying to piece together Finn's past while finding the source of this dark side power. Rey is training with Luke, and in their training, Luke is paralyzed with his fear of failure once again, as he had with Kylo Ren. And as her training progresses, Luke realizes that she is stronger than he ever imagined. And in his fear, he resolves to kill Rey in her sleep as she would be too strong, and if she turned to the dark side, she would be too much of a threat. And Rey is also too strong to not pick up on this with her Force mind reading powers. So right before Luke strikes to kill her, she wakes up, avoids him, and flees. And Luke engages in chase. They are traveling across the galaxy. Kylo Ren
They start a
Since
game of
Mr. was-
tag.
Old
Kylo
man Luke.
Ren. There needs to be a space chase scene. Kylo Ren is hypersensitive to the Force because he is at this point been exposed to the Force augmenting element. He goes to rescue Rey because she is so powerful. He wants her on their side. And at this point, there is no clear light or dark side to the Force anymore. And there ends up being a fight once all three of them converge on some, I don't know what planet. It might be lava. It might be jungle. I don't really know. But
Please not desert again.
it might be. But Kylo Ren will kill Luke Skywalker, and Luke Skywalker will die a villain's death. It's going to be awesome. After that, I got nothing. No, Finn will find out that Phasma killed his parents, and that's why he's so mad at her. And that's all that I got. I have no ending. I'm sorry, but I'm quite confident in some aspects of my story being true.
A three-way fight would be pretty sick.
I'm confident that Luke will not try and kill Rey.
Really?
As
A stealthy murder of Rey in her sleep would be hard with a lightsaber, considering how loud they are.
Not if you turn it on.
Joker.
Not if you put the hilt on her and then turn it on.
That's a good point. Just turn the volume down on it.
Yeah. All right, I'll read mine. The movie starts with Luke finally grabbing the lightsaber out of Rey's hand. Flashbacks flood into her mind of growing up at the Jedi school being taught by Luke, the Knights of Ren destroying it, Luke wiping her memories, and finally dropping her off on Jakku. The first act of the movie is focused on Rey and Luke in training, learning about the history of the Jedi and where she fits in that, intercut with Kylo going back to Snoke, injured, to complete his training, and him spiraling deeper into the dark side. Snoke reveals his identity as Plagueis the Wise and tells the story of how he came back to life after his apprentice betrayed him. Kylo had thought about just killing Snoke, but now he's filled with fear, knowing that Snoke would just come back to destroy him. Luke sees how powerful Rey is and decides he can't train her anymore because he doesn't want a repeat of Kylo's training, which backfired on him. The second act of the movie focuses on Poe, Leia, and the Resistance and their struggle to protect the remaining allies from the desperate reaches of the weakened First Order as they try to stamp them out. Poe and Finn go on a side mission to Casino World Canto Bight to find old allies of Leia, a Mandalore militia. On their journey, they discover their love for one another, and Star Wars shows not just their first sex scene, but also the first homosexual sex scene in Star Wars history. Through Kylo's training with Snoke, he strengthens his close mental connection with Rey and finds where she is training with Luke. Snoke sends Kylo with the Knights of Ren to kill Rey and Luke before she becomes too powerful. There's a lightsaber battle on one of the islands with Luke and Rey against the Knights of Ren and Kylo. Kylo kills Luke, and Rey manages to take out all the Knights besides Kylo. Kylo escapes on his ship as Rey clutches Luke's dead body, and it cuts to credits.
Wow.
You were very detailed at the beginning, and then they just kind of fizzled out.
That's true, right? That's
so
true.
no
I was
one
expecting
had
like a 45
I
minute.
was like, man, this is going to actually be the movie.
no one bets Luke survives this movie.
I was going to ask you guys that. I think, did you all say Luke dies in this one?
I did.
Yep, I did.
I didn't mind. I could see him surviving though. I definitely think it's possible.
I'd be real bummed.
Well, he survives in mine, Judge.
Okay.
Okay, Mike, which of these movies would you most want to see?
Is that how I'm judging this? Which one I would most want to see?
I don't know.
God.
Did you have another judging method in mind?
I don't know. Not necessarily. I mean,
Sadly,
that's the
I
movie.
don't know if I'd want to see any of them.
Oh,
Sadly, most realistic would probably go to Jared. So
yeah.
I mean,
on episode 7.
I think. I took notes during all these. I'm reviewing them for a moment. I think Jacob's definitely seemed kind of the most thought out. I liked the idea of like the Force object, unless it's like another Kyber crystal deal, which I guess that's what that is.
It's the source of all midichlorians.
Your idea of Finn having some sort of dream that leads them in some way. I mean, Finn has definitely showed some sort of Force powers because he can wield a lightsaber. So it'll definitely be interesting to see.
He doesn't need the Force to hold a lightsaber. Han cuts open the tauntaun.
Yeah, but he struggles to even turn it on and wield it, and yet Finn is like fighting someone with it.
That's true.
So I'll be curious to see how, like, the Force. I mean, think about it. It's called the Force Awakens, which could mean a lot of things, but it's also could be like Force abilities spreading more. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's overthinking it a little bit, but
that is what I predict. If maybe by the end of this movie, a lot more people are going to be using the Force.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think Finn being able to do that is coincidence. I think there's something to that. So him having some sort of involvement or some sort of Jedi dream is interesting to me. Yeah, all your guys' ideas about like Luke and Rey fighting each other and whatever, I kind of feel like that's going to happen to some extent. So again, Jacob really fleshed that out very well. Joe, I give bonus points to for bringing in Lando, because if that happens, I'm gonna be so happy.
My point is they need something to like sell some toys off of, so why not a little Lando?
I know, and if they could keep that surprise until Thursday, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
like a little Billy D in there, a little 80-year-old Billy D would be fantastic. I do think Joe mentioned it, as well as who else? I think Jacob mentioned the lava planet too. Like, I don't think it was coincidence that they brought that into Rogue One. I'm sure we're going back there, and that was sort of like, and I mean specifically that is Mustafar, but specifically back to Darth Vader's palace. Very well could happen, and I think one of the main reasons they showed that to us a year ago was so that we could be refreshed about it for this upcoming movie. Jared, what did Jared say?
What? Can't remember.
He literally said episode 5.
Oh, right. Okay. That's a loser. I am scared. I mean, their marketing has showed, though it looks really cool, the white planet with the walkers. I mean,
Mike, let me say this. Episode 5 is the best Star Wars movie that's ever been made.
So why not make it twice?
So let's just make it twice.
I mean, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things that I've seen that have yet to convince me that this is not just a copy of Empire. Training apprentices, twists in lineage. White planets with walkers, which if some of you guys haven't seen trailers, I'm sort of spoiling that for you, but it's been in every single trailer and in the posters and everything is like this white and red
TV
theme.
Too.
It's very reminiscent of Hoth. And obviously if Lando showed up, that could be yet another Empire rehash, but I'll be okay with that one. So yeah, Jared, I hope those things don't happen. David, yeah, I mean, your things all seem relatively logical. You also have Kylo killing Luke, which I hope Luke makes it like one more. I mean, they can't have Leia in the next one because she's dead in real life. I hope we get Luke a little bit more. Kanan, I don't know. That I was underwhelmed by Kanan considering who he is.
Too. Yeah.
So I think the winner is going to be Jacob. I think it was the most fleshed out and the most realistic.
Oh, thank you.
The man who only saw Star Wars a year and a half ago for the first time.
That's an advantage. That's an advantage.
It's the faith of a child that you all need.
Yeah. That it was an advantage. We're we're too deep, man. We're just in too deep.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
like
but certainly the most curious things are going to be where Luke falls in all of this. I certainly could foresee Rey and Kylo even like switching sides,
be sick.
depending
Oh,
on
that'd
what
be sick.
happens.
They better switch
And-
clothes too, because black and white clothes are not going to work for the opposite Force side.
Right.
Well,
and
I mean,
obvi-
Luke was in all black when he was.
That's true. Very true.
Fine.
Jedi. He also, I mean, he is kind of he's very mysterious, especially in Return of the Jedi. Like we don't really know what happened between Empire and Jedi, and he's very kind of brooding and mysterious when he enters Jabba's palace. So
Yeah.
we really don't know a lot about him, like in full Jedi form. So it'll be interesting to see where they go.
Is he the last Jedi?
Well, if you read the opening scroll of Force Awakens, it says he is the last Jedi. So
Yeah.
but Jedi can also be plural. So we'll see what that actually means.
Let's see. So one thing I wanted to bring up, we mentioned Carrie Fisher's passing and how she most likely needs to die in this movie unless they recreate her in CGI form for episode 9. Her acting was subpar in The Force Awakens. I really hope that it's either miraculously a lot better in this movie or they just don't give her much screen time. Like, I mean, I hate to say that because Leia is such an awesome character in the original trilogy, but I'm just
40 years of cocaine.
Yeah.
We'll do something to a woman.
I completely agree with that notion. I think maybe some better writing will help. Maybe
that's what I'm thinking. My memory of episode 7 is a lot of her just saying very obvious things that even the most generic character in her position would say, like the typical like, but Han, he's our son, he's our boy. Like never struck me as like a well-written character.
On top of that, the very end of the movie is the thing I hate the most about The Force Awakens, when Chewie just walks right past Leia right after Han is killed, and she doesn't even say anything to him. And J.J. Abrams has admitted that was a huge mistake, and that if he could redo it, he would have her embrace Chewie first. But yeah, there was definitely some writing issues with Leia's character in that movie.
That scene between her and Han is brutal.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it was Snoke. He turned our son.
Yeah.
Oh man, two actors that did not want to be there.
Oh, and I'm still just forever be angry that we didn't get another Han and Luke scene together. It was just like, I don't know. I was just really hoping for that. I was just generally hoping for more Luke in that movie, and just terribly disappointed.
Well, don't give up. Yeah. Han might have joined the Force.
That's true. That's very true.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Absolutely no chance.
You don't think Harrison Ford shows up again?
Absolutely not.
That's a good point. He hates being in Star Wars, I think. Or hated. I hope for his sake.
Yeah, I think his, if I remember right, his whole thing was like Han just has nothing left to contribute.
He wanted to die in Jedi.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So, I would be shocked, and I wouldn't like it either. It would have been sweet if they would have had a scene last movie, but it's too late.
One of the things that was The Force Awakens' downfall was how much of a setup movie it was. It was kind of a reboot, very similar to A New Hope, as well as like it introduced a lot of mysteries without giving you the answers to any of them. Some of those mysteries that I hope get answered in The Last Jedi. I mean, I hope we find out who Snoke is. I hope we find out how Luke's school Jedi Academy thing was destroyed, or how the Knights of Ren did that and what happened there.
Who Rey is.
Yeah, who Rey is. I hope that they expand a little more on like what the Force is now, and kind of what we were talking about earlier, like if everyone has it to some level. And because I agree, I think they're kind of going that route, as the Jedi isn't an exclusionary term. It's more like there aren't any more Jedi. Everyone has the Force. It's just a matter of like tapping into it or like believing or something like that. That sounds kind of Disney to me. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, those are the main things. I hope it focuses mostly on the Jedi aspect. It's a 2.5 hour long movie, so I know that they're going to include Finn in there and Captain Phasma, and Poe's pretty cool. I'm excited to see more Poe, but I hope the majority of the movie is focused on the Force, the Jedi and the Sith, and Luke versus Snoke.
I'm also really hoping that what we've seen in promotional stuff is in like the first half hour of the movie, and there's like a ton of stuff we haven't even like touched yet, that we haven't seen. Planets and people, and we have yet to see Benicio del Toro's in this movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I forgot about that.
I've seen like a picture of him in costume. He's playing a human or whatever.
Man, that gets me excited.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And Laura Dern is in this movie. I've only seen a couple just like photos of her with like this weird purple haircut.
Who's Laura Dern?
She's the girl from Jurassic Park, the from the original.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So those are two like
big.
Those are
right.
Yeah, those are two big actors that we've yet to see, kind of hear a peep from. So I'm real curious about that. So I was also really excited about Max von Sydow, who is a very famous Swedish actor who dies in the first 2 minutes of Force Awakens.
Yeah, it's
like
that way sometimes.
I was real pumped about. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I love that guy. He's a great actor. Very, just old movie star. And I was so excited he was not in any of the trailers. You never saw anything from him. And then Kylo kills him in like 45 seconds. I was so mad. I wanted him to be like a new Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been a cool Jedi. Sure.
Maybe we'll get a spinoff, a Lore Santeca spinoff.
Another thing that I really hope for this movie is that they're not afraid to kind of go dark and leave out the terrible comedy that was in The Force Awakens. I mean, obviously there's going to be some comedic moments, but the thing I don't like
comedic moments.
Yeah. Porgs. Hopefully they're not the new Gungans. But the thing, like Disney with Marvel, those movies are like comedies, some of them even more than they are action movies. Like the Thor movie, the newest Thor movie was so comedic. And I just hope that The Last Jedi, they can focus on like being serious and not be afraid to do that. And I'm sure they'll put some comedy in there just because they want kids to laugh at the little penguin porgs, but I hope that they can leave that out as much as possible. And hopefully Rian Johnson had some control there, and the Disney executives didn't tell him to put in a porg in every other scene.
I mean, if you look at Rian Johnson's past, I mean, he's made, I don't know if you've seen any of his other movies. He's made Brick, which is like a modern film noir. He made Looper, which is a very kind of violent, serious R-rated movie. And he made, what's the other one? Brothers Bloom, I think is what it's called.
He made the last episode of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I mean, so he has a track record of some really cool, intense stuff. So, but I mean, it is Disney, and we've seen them firing directors for not doing their will. So, I will be really curious to see kind of how it all comes together. And they obviously liked it enough to hire him to make a whole new trilogy. So, we'll see how it goes.
Man,
that's definitely a good sign. And I loved Looper. I mean, if he brings that level of like mystery, and I love movies that make you think like that. Like they're not straightforward where you can just sit back. You have to like be constantly engaged to get what's going on. And I hope that that's the case with The Last Jedi with all the mysteries of the Force, but we will see. Any other final thoughts from you guys? Less than 48 hours. I will be in the theater. I think probably a few of us will in 2 days exactly.
Yeah, let's all talk about when we're seeing it.
I can't until Monday.
Oh,
but it does not mean as much to me as it does to y'all. So I don't feel.
I bought tickets in. When do they go on sale? September, October. First screening at the IMAX in town, so I'm very excited.
Sweet.
I bought tickets in 2 different cities on premiere night because I wasn't sure which city I was going to be in at the time, but I refunded the other ones. But 8:30 p.m. is mine. I couldn't grab the 7 p.m. showing, but I chose to get better seats in the 8:30 p.m. showing and wait another hour and a half.
All right. Is it do you get 2D or 3D?
2D. Duh.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
David, are you seeing IMAX?
No, normal. I mean, Tulsa doesn't have an actual IMAX theater, so it's just a bigger screen, slightly better sound, and the ticket costs like $5 more. So I'd rather just be in a normal screen.
Yeah, I'm seeing Limax, but it is a little better than a normal screen.
I feel like IMAX is just so nice. Like I don't know how much I would actually pay for a ticket, but it's just a no-brainer between that and like the regular movie. So I don't know. I might hold off till I'm home for Christmas to sneak out for to do it right on the huge screen.
Yeah. I'm seeing it Thursday night at 7, and then I have tickets in Michigan where my wife's family is for Monday, and on their real big IMAX screen. So I'm honestly most excited for screening number 2, but
yeah,
I had to see it on opening night.
All right. Well, let us know on our social media posts. You can comment when you are seeing it on Thursday, or if you have to wait, like Jacob does, unfortunately. But we will be back next week for our thoughts on the movie and our review of The Last Jedi. So we'll be back, but we wanted to get this pre-viewing episode in to kind of prep you for the movie. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, and thank you, Mike, for coming back on the show.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Joe, Jacob, and Jared.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
And make sure to leave us a review and rating on iTunes and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But we will see you next time. May the Force be with you.
And also with you.
One with the Force, and the Force is with me.
Jared, do you have anything to sign off with?
Say what?
Do you have anything to sign off with? Any closing remarks?
So long.
Do you normally say yeah?
Okay, so long, gang.
All right.
Oh, we added games.
I stopped my recording.
Okay. David, did you ever figure out your urinary tract infection?
What?
I didn't have one.
Oh, that's what we were talking about the last time I signed off the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I went to the doctor and he said it was just like it was probably just like thick pee or something weird. I don't know.
Sounds so painful.
It was terrible, and that's why I never felt pain like that before in my urethra, and so I thought I had a UTI somehow.
Are we still live?
Oh yeah.
Oh, crap.
You know it.
You believe it.
It's all right. We have one viewer right now, so you're welcome for that.
Those hot details on Big D's Big D.
Big D.
Big D's,
Right.
Big
I'm
D.
not
It's like
ashamed.
bootstrap.
All right.
Legend
sign
on
off,
the live
boys.
chat. Legend said noobs. I'm not really sure when he said that though.
Later, Jacob.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Happy Crisis.
Oh wait, Jacob, don't leave. I need your screenshot.
He's gone.
Feliz La Pata.
No, I'm not.
No.
Here. These headphones look like Princess Leia buns. What should I do?
Yeah, they do.
Is there like a pose I can do that's like? Should I go get my slave Leia costume on?
Yeah. Wait, just angle your laptop up so your whole head isn't cut off. There.
Here, I have Leia buns too.
All right. Got it. Wait. Okay, I'll do Mike. I'll do you.
I don't have anything Star Wars related with me, unfortunately.
Okay. Joe, you ready?
Yeah, hang on. Let me get my.
Okay, Jared, I'll do you.
Wait.
I can't.
Wait.
What are you holding? I can't see it.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Gotta go into attack mode.
Of course. Nice. Okay, Joe. Will you squat down a tiny bit so your head isn't cut off? Yeah. That's better.
Here, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna...
Oh, nice. Okay.
Beautiful, Mike.
Here, I don't want to smile. Do it again.
Okay. Got it.
Lobot's my favorite. We got Lobot back too. Oh man, he's like all wrinkly.
Yeah.
Wrinkly Lobot. That'd be awesome. Dave, I think this recorder thing worked pretty well. We'll see. I also recorded on my phone as backup. So.
All right, cool.
Feliz La Pata.
I'm so excited for Thursday.
I'm starting to get excited now that my work trip is finished. I'm even more excited because I can
Here's what I
not
was
be
gonna say
worried about.
Was if nothing else, someone mentioned how I think it was you, Big D, mentioned how it was mostly a setup movie. Like if nothing else, I am quite excited for episode 8.
Same.
And it's 2.5 hours long. It's gonna be so long. There's gonna be so much stuff.
Yeah,
I know. The Rotten Tomatoes score was at like 94% today, by the way.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, don't
Why?
know. Stop.
Why do you care?
I don't want any like more preconceived anything.
I didn't
yeah.
want to do that either.
It's best to go in with just as minimal as you can.
Okay, like if the Rotten Tomato score was like 60% or something, that changes how you view the movie. But if the score is good, that doesn't change anything.
Sure it does.
Yeah.
The bigger point is that knowledge is not power when it comes to seeing movies.
It's not. At least preconceived knowledge.
We didn't talk about the spin-off movies. I guess we probably kind of ran out of time.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That's true. I do agree, Mike. Rogue One I like Rogue One a lot.
I love it. I watched it again last week. I watched 7 like 3 weeks ago and Rogue One 2 weeks ago with my wife to get kind of caught. I guess Rogue One's not getting caught up, but just for fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed.
I watched it too. I watched Rogue One like 3 nights ago, and I watched Force Awakens 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
It's
fun.
I mean,
I guess I just like it because it's different, and like I like the beginning when it's all sort of fast paced. You don't really know what's going on, and they're planet hopping and all that stuff, and like
Yeah.
I don't know. And I like. I mean, the sort of like changing the course of what the Death Star is and how they blew it up. Like, I mean, I just kind of just living with that. Like, I guess I don't particularly like the idea that. I mean, I guess I like the idea of A New Hope. Oh yeah, the rebels found these plans and they analyzed and they blew it up and that's it. And then there's like this whole backstory behind it. But like, I guess if we're forced to have that, I like how they did it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For me, Rogue One just like will never compare to the saga movies because I love the Jedi lore so much in the regular movies. Like,
Yeah.
In the Clone Wars, I love all this stuff. They have a couple episodes about like finding the Kyber crystals and like how they build their lightsabers, and that's the stuff I like the most about Force Awakens with Rey and Kylo and the lightsaber battles, and just like the Jedi is what I like about Star Wars. And since Rogue One didn't have that, it's just kind of like, meh, it's good, but I'll never like it as much as the regular movies.
And I like that, like, the rebels had to like rebel against themselves in order to even make it that far. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was very, very, for what it was, it's very well thought out and well put together, and characters are different and interesting, and I don't know. It's almost like refreshing to be in that universe but not have Jedi. Like, it's just different.
Yeah, that makes me like wonder if they'll have any Force stuff in the Han Solo movie or not.
Yeah, I'm real curious to see what they do with that. Like, I'm looking forward to it just because, again, it's something different. But like the fact that they fired the directors off of it, like with like 2 weeks left, and they brought Ron Howard in and who like redid reshoots for like a month. Like, it's just like plagued with issues.
Mm-hmm.
No, the score is being done by John Powell, who's one of my favorite composers. So I'm excited about that. Like, the one thing I'm really excited about the Han Solo movie is to see how John Powell does a Star Wars score. That's just me.
Who scored Last Jedi?
John Williams.
John Williams is doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Will he do 9 too?
If he's alive.
Yeah, I think so.
Getting up there.
I hope he made so like Rey's track from the Force Awakens is the best song. I think most people like that the most. I hope there's a few more memorable songs in The Last Jedi this time around.
The soundtrack definitely grew on me. I remember first viewing being like, yeah, it's fine, but like, I actually really appreciate the score of Force Awakens, and like some of like the music from the Resistance stuff is really good, and like when the X-Wings come in over the water, over the water. This
the coolest scene.
Yeah,
that is my favorite scene of the whole movie.
The one thing I did see from the trailers was the scene of like a very similar shot from the opposite direction with like the smoke behind the ships. You know what I'm talking about? The red smoke.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah.
In Last Jedi.
Yeah, in Last Jedi's trailer. It's like the only shot I've really seen, but I saw it and I was like, man, they're literally just using the same shot because it was cool the first time.
Yeah, right.
But it is so cool.
There's some other really cool.
And then Poe is just an unstoppable force when he's in an X-Wing.
Yeah, that one shot where you see him flying around.
Yes. There's just one continuous. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I hope that him and Kylo Ren have a sick dog fight in their ships, because Kylo should be a great pilot because he's a Skywalker, you know?
That's true.
And Poe is obviously the best pilot in the Resistance. So that'd be a cool
Skywalker and a Solo.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, that'd be sweet.
The flight genes are real.
And then there's that Vietnamese girl that's in the new one. That's
I forgot about her,
I think her and Finn do stuff together, which Finn. I hate Finn so much. I hope that's not.
I don't think I hate Finn as much as you, but
I do.
He's not great.
Your disapproval.
He overacts so much. And when he meets Rey, I don't think Rey's acting is good in that scene either. She says something about Luke, and she's like supposed to be really excited because it's like the first interesting thing that's happened in her whole life. But
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. she kind of overacts there too, and that whole thing with Finn is just, I don't like it for the first 30 minutes.
We've probably had this conversation in the past, but who do you think Rey is related to, if anyone?
I hope it's no one.
She conceived by the midichlorians.
Well, that'd be cool too. I just hope her parents are like not important in the storyline. Like, I think it's fine if she's just literally someone who's left on a planet, spontaneous.
The best arguments I've heard are that she's somehow related to Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that'd be
Really,
cool.
the best arguments are like what you want to happen the most.
I stopped after a little while, but I started diving into all these YouTube videos of like these just proving why X is Y, or like there's one like proving why Mace Windu is Snoke.
Yeah.
But there's one that is, here's why Rey is related to Obi-Wan, and it is darn convincing. And I don't have to get into it if you don't want me to, but
well, a lot of it is based off of his relationship in the Clone Wars with one of the Mandalorian chicks, and because they liked each other, and the timeline kind of lines up for the ages of Rey.
Yeah, which if they really tied the cartoons into the movies that much, I'd be kind of mad, because I like the movies to stand on their own, but that just doesn't really seem to be how the direction we're going.
Hoover's in the chat. He said she's part of Luke's family. It's always about the Skywalkers.
Yeah, but Kylo Ren's a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with the guy in the chat. Like, there's just, what the heck was the point of the whole scene in, what's her name, Maz's basement or whatever? She gets the lightsaber, and Maz is like, oh, it called to whatever she said. Like, they hint so much.
It called to Luke and his father before him, or something.
And now
what's one of the few voices you hear in that vision? You hear Obi-Wan a couple times.
Oh yes, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I remember that.
And she has a British accent. And she's one of two people in the movies to successfully force convince someone to do something. Does Luke ever actually do that?
Wow. That's an interesting.
I think Obi-Wan's the only one that does it.
No.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
Kylo Ren, speaking of like force powers, Kylo Ren's powers are so overpowered for, I don't know, like he can stop laser bolts. He can knock people out without touching them. When he like picks up Rey, he knocks her out and then just carries her. He can read people's minds.
Dude, she's the GOAT.
Yeah.
She has no training and she beat him.
They're a good matchup, I guess.
She is like set up to just be easily the most powerful Jedi we've ever seen.
She would have gotten destroyed in that battle if he wouldn't have just gotten shot with Chewie's crossbow.
Yes. Yeah, people always forget that. Like, he is struggling.
Yeah. That's a good point.
And like 3 times in the movie, they showed that crossbow to like blast stormtroopers back like 30 yards, and then he gets hit with it and he doesn't even move.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a gaping wound, as well as him punching it.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
That thing.
But like, so I guess him being shot affects his ability to use the Force. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because like the scene that stands out to me is whenever Kylo is reaching for the lightsaber. I mean, to force pull it, and Rey is doing the same thing, and she takes it. So like, it's not like a matter of strength with a lightsaber. It's like she just bested him with the Force. Like she was stronger with the Force than he was in that moment. So I guess
that's where I thought Luke was going to show up.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
He's pulled the saber out of snow before.
Yeah, I would have bet that was Luke.
But that's also like why she has to be a Skywalker. That whole scene, like that pulling out of the snow, so similar. Being able to have that connection with the lightsaber itself.
I think so, Joe. I really think so.
Like that was the only lightsaber that was owned by both Anakin and Luke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Obi-Wan had it for a while too.
It's true.
Hoover says Rey and Kylo are deaf family. They're equals. She has no training, yet matches Kylo in a matter of hours. It's like Luke and Leia, but instead of both being on the same side, they're opposite.
She also flies the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, but Leia's not that powerful.
Yeah, I would say no. Leia never got anywhere close to that. She like.
Well,
maybe she will in this movie. Maybe she'll go all like Yoda on us.
Maybe sick.
Lady.
Start hopping around and doing Force crap.
Some genetics.
Yeah, I mean, her only power they show Leia's is her being able to call out to Luke over long distances. So maybe if she trained on Dagobah with Yoda, she would have been Luke's equal. Who knows?
I don't know. Only
David,
time will tell. I have a. Sorry, go. What'd you say?
Sorry.
David, did you get my recording?
You sent it to.
Huh?
Huh?
Can you hear
Which
me?
email did you send it to?
David K. I didn't hear you. I can't hear you right now.
I just asked which email, and you told me.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you because you did not say anything.
Yeah, I got it.
What do you
Jared.
think the chances are? Sorry, what do you think the chances are we will not find out who Rey is in this movie? I'm kind of foreseeing that happening.
Golly, no.
Maybe. Well, yeah, they
Just
might. They're gonna save one big reveal, either Snoke's identity or Rey's identity, for the last movie.
I don't feel like Snoke's identity is that big of a deal.
I agree.
If he's Plagueis the Wise, they'll be like, okay, whoop-de-doo.
I hope he's not. I hope so bad that he is not.
But like, what else could he be? Maybe that's what the big surprise is. But I just don't know who or what else he could be that would be like a huge twist.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like his mutilation, it kind of lines up with Plagueis the Wise.
Lines up with Mace Windu.
It does.
It lines up with that stormtrooper that bonked his head.
You see
You guys seen that?
Yeah, right.
And the pair from Naboo.
Yeah, the pair. Oh, that's my favorite.
All right, I'm out of here.
Jared,
Okay.
I like the Jared Hart's Gabby in the background. That's cute.
Oh, thanks.
Did you write that backwards, by the way?
No, it's regular.
Oh,
Is it
Never mind.
regular in the shot?
yeah, it is. It is.
Is my shirt backwards?
That's weird.
No.
No.
For some reason, I thought everything was backwards on these, but I guess not.
Hmm.
My bad.
Huh.
Is Gabby in the room, Jared, again?
No, she's still got some finals.
Eh.
I shall hang this call up and
All
call
right.
her.
Okay.
Bye.
Good stuff, friends.
Bye.
See ya.
Later.
I also should probably get off because I have a test in 2 days and need to study. So I will see you guys later.
Bye, Joe.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Joe.
We're still going to do like an after podcast like next week?
Yeah, I'm not sure what day, but we'll plan something in the group text.
Okay. And Jacob's watching it Monday, he said?
Yeah, I guess. Well,
Okay.
I don't.
Just do it Thursday night.
And we're the only ones seeing it Thursday.
Oh,
Joe,
okay.
Jacob, and
All right.
Jared all aren't.
Yeah, I have to
All right,
drive.
never mind.
I could do it Friday night maybe, but okay. I will see you guys later.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
I'm gonna go too, Dave.
I just sent Hoover a Google Hangout invite.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I'll stay on for a minute.
Is he in the same hotel as you or no?
No, he's not with us. He's in St. Louis.
Okay.
I had like straight up bronchitis for a week. It was real bad.
I just had a cold for a few
It
days.
was only a cough. Everything else was completely fine. I just had this just awful cough. I went to urgent care and got a steroid shot and a bunch of medicine. Hoove?
Hoover.
don't know if he has a webcam.
What laptop does he have?
He doesn't. He has a desktop at home.
Oh. Oh well. I think we'll see if he's there or not.
So does your microphone here feed into it's being recorded and it's the input into what we're hearing from you?
Yeah, Audacity recorded it, and it's the input into Google Hangouts.
Okay.
All right, I'll just end it, I think.
Okay.
Bye.
All right.